Hey guys, hey, I want to talk to you a little bit about frame rates and lagging. Um, I know some people tonight were talking about they were having lagging issues, and there's a couple things you really need to consider. Your internet speed, and well, is your PC up for this? Because when you do these world bosses, I mean that really puts a demand on your graphics card, and if you got an older PC, you might be in denial that hey, my box is not keeping up anymore. Oh no, I spent a lot of money on this computer 5, 7 years ago, and if you uh, depending on what you bought, you've it could be that it's not keeping up anymore. Um, so let's just talk about a few things. One, let's make sure your internet's good, that you're playing on a good internet. If you're playing on 2.5 gigahertz internet, it's probably not going to keep up with WoW, especially in this environment. Wi-Fi has problems. Most adapters will automatically adjust between 2.5 and 5 gigahertz, and that's going to cause you some lagging because the switching on that is not going to be good. So you want to set that up to where it's 5 gigahertz. If you have to play on Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi is your only option, you want to be on 5 gigahertz. And still you're going to have some issues there because internet's kind of like plumbing. If you having a hot water tank. If you got like a 20-gallon tank and everybody decides they want to take a hot shower at the same time and run the dishwasher, chances are you're going to get cold water, and cold water is not good. So you definitely, your internet has to be able to keep up with the demands of your household. So or your whatever your situation is there. Ideally, you want to be on Ethernet cable, directly into the router or hub. That's where you want to be at. And your Ethernet connection, you want to have it to where you've got some decent speed, that you're not on the budget Wi-Fi that your internet company came up with. Personally, I'm on a 20 megabyte upload speed, and it's 100 meg. And I went through some speed test to try to optimize this. And you really have to consider you will probably want a meg upload speed at the minimum. And that's just if it's just you and no one else on the internet. Because anytime you try to send something, you're using your upload speed. You stream video, you stream music, you're using your download speed, and like anything, you eventually it's like that hot water tank. You don't have enough capacity in it to satisfy everybody's need. Well, let's get back to your latency and your graphics card. If you hit Control R, it'll put there at the screen white letter your frame rate. And if you're playing, the best thing I tell you is go into the LFRs, check your frame rate, see if you're staying above 30 frames per second. If you can be higher, that's really where you want to be. If you have a nice rig where you can do that. The other things you want to look at is, the whole thing is, if you're any lower than 30 frames per second, you get down to less than 10, you're not going to see things in real time. You're not going to respond to it because basically your graphics card is not animating the frames in advance to you seeing them. And it's like somebody's holding a picture, a whole frame worth of pictures that they took with an old Polaroid camera, and they're sitting there just flipping them out, and you're seeing people move across the lawn or whatever. Well, imagine if you're seeing there's 20 of them and you're seeing 10 of them. So it's going to look real choppy. Well, you're not going to be able to react to what's going on in a raid or a battleground that quickly because you're not seeing all the information in real time. So you're not going to do as much DPS, and you're probably not going to survive because you're in slow mo. So that's why it's important to have a graphics card to keep up. And a lot of times when I'll go in, I'll do a DBM check, and I'll go there and see who's not using DBM, and you know, that's a red flag for me. I know some people don't need it, but a lot of times what people will do is they won't run the add-ons, they won't run Ventrilo, because their system, whether it's their internet or their computer, won't run it and keep up. It's kind of like they got denial issues, and that's kind of what happens there. So it's very important that if you're raiding or you're doing the big battlegrounds, that your rig can keep up. And this is something that you'll find a person can do a 10-man rig, a 10-man raid, but they get any higher than that and they start having problems. It starts lagging on them, and I've seen it. We've had a couple tanks that's happened to, where their PC just wouldn't keep up. It's just start choking. I had someone who was had internet issues. He kept DCing anytime we got into the thick of the raid. And after talking with him, found out, well, yeah, he was playing on Wi-Fi. I said, okay, go ahead and try a direct Ethernet connection. He did, and he had no more issues. So this is the kind of things that happen in this kind of World of Warcraft when you're doing raiding and battlegrounds, and especially these world bosses. So you just got to be honest with yourself and look at it. Okay, if you have a couple things, if you have a desktop, chances are you can upgrade your graphics card. You may have to upgrade your power supply. But if you have a laptop, you're basically stuck. If it's an old one, you can't upgrade it. So those are some things that you want to consider in your next purchase of your next system there. Well, I hope this helps you. I hope you maybe helps you figure out what you need to do next, and appreciate you listening.